Hey, hi! Welcome to a new project. In this new project, I want to walk through the creation of a very simple arcade game. This could very well be the first game that you ever make. It is intended for beginners in terms of game dev, also in terms of programming. I won't go super in depth into programming concepts, but I will be explaining everything as it comes up. As I mentioned, this will be an arcade game, and we will have a player that will try to reach the end of the screen, or like an end zone. And on the way, there will be obstacles like water obstacles, cars, other things that the player will have to avoid. So I hope you will join me on this journey, and let's get right into it. All right, so here we are looking at Godot. I also wanted to clarify about my experience with Godot. I haven't made any commercial games, but I have started a lot of hobby projects. And lately, I have been actually focusing on a different engine instead, an engine called Phaser. So a lot of this in Godot will either be new to me or will be something that I would have to remember. So I will probably be struggling in parts, and I hope this will be inspiring to you and show you that it's okay to make mistakes and to not know things. So let's get started. What we see here is the screen that you get when you start a new project in Godot. I have done one thing behind the scenes. I created an assets folder and I copy and pasted some assets that I made that I think we will need. We will use the cat as our player character, and we will use this tile set to draw the world or the background. For now, though, we can create a new scene. As you can see here on the left, we are prompted to create a root node. And we'll select the 2D scene because we were making a 2D game. And now we can save our scene. I'll try and keep some order, so I'll create a folder called scenes. And I actually didn't rename it, so it'll give me node underscore 2D. I want to call it main instead, so I'll save it as main. And I'll go here as well, I'll click again, and I'll also rename this to main. So now we have a node, which is main, and it's part of the main scene. So nodes are here on the left, and scenes are here on the top, like tabs. Nodes are small building blocks of functionality, like they're like sprites, which are basically like images, or they can be like audio players, or basically anything in between, buttons, and so on. And scenes are collections of nodes. So right now we have a scene called main, and it has a node of main. So if I would, for example, take this cat and drag it here, then it would create a new node. It's a sprite 2D node, and a sprite is basically a graphics term for image. I can also go here on the plus sign, click plus to add a new child node. I will find the sprite 2D here, and we get a new sprite 2D, but it's empty. And if I'll delete this so you can see that it's empty. And I would have to add the texture myself here on the right. So I'll drag this here, and now we can see the cat in the editor. We don't actually need the cat right now. We'll instead be working on the background. And for that, we need something called a tile map. So I'm adding a new node, and it's the tile map node. A tile map is, like the name implies, a map that is composed of tiles. And tiles are like little pieces along the grid. I'm just remembering that I also set up one other thing, which is grid snap. I pushed this button here, and then I went here to configure snap, and set the step to 128 pixels, because this will be the size of the squares in our tile map. So now whenever I move anything here, like I'll put the cat back here, and I'll press W, and now I'll move it. Now it moves in increments of 128. So that's useful. I'll go back to select mode to select the cat, and I'll press delete to delete the node. And instead, I'll take the tile map again. So the tile map needs a tile set. The tile set is the graphics that the tile map will use to draw the map. So I'll go here on the right. This is the inspector. This shows you details and options for the different nodes as you click on them. I'll go here, click, and do new tile set. And now we have this tile set tab here in the bottom. I'll select this one, and we'll create a new tile set source. So I think I can just drag this thing here. And yeah, I would like to automatically create tiles in the atlas. So I'm trying to zoom in, trying to find the tiles. I'm using the middle mouse button to move, and okay, here are the tiles. That's great. However, there's one issue. They are too small. I would like each of these orange squares to be one tile. So I'll try and click around. I think it's if I click on the tile set here, this doesn't look like it would show you any other options, but sometimes the UI in Godot is a bit unintuitive. So if I click here on the tile set, then I can see that there's a tile size, and I can change this to be 128 times 128. These are still small, so I think if I get rid of this and then import it again, if I now automatically create tiles in the atlas is the image. I'll click yes, and now I get big tiles. So that's great. And now if I have my, well, how does this work? Now if I go to my tile map, and now I'm under the tile map tab here, now if I select one of these, I think I can draw. Yes, perfect. So I'll draw, and I'll press shift and then click and keep on clicking, and this way I can draw a line. So I'll draw 20 of them. On the the bottom left, you see the coordinates. So if we start from 0, like you usually do in programming, and we go up to 19, then we have 20 of them. And I want 20 because I want enough tiles to cover a resolution with the width of 1920. So I'll do another row of grass tiles. Then I'll make a road. Then I'll make more grass tiles. Now maybe some water tiles. I'll try, if I press Control and Shift, then I should be able to draw a box. So that's useful. Some more grass tiles. And okay, I need grass tiles to cross the water as well. So let's do that. This is looking more like ground than water, so maybe this is enough. And now another road and some more grass. Okay, so let's call this our map of the first level, for example. I'm gonna press Control S to save, and then I'll go top here and run the project. So this is what our game looks like right now, which is great. I remembered one other thing that I had done before, so I'll quickly reset this, and I'll do it again just so that you can see what the experience of running a scene or a project is like for the first time. If I go here now, then Godot will ask me, there's no main scene, it doesn't know what scene to load first. So I'll just select current, and we should see the same thing. So that's great. We want to see more of our map, so I'll go to project settings and I'll go to window, and my target resolution will be 1920 by 1080, which is probably the most common resolution nowadays. And while we're here, we can go to stretch and set this to viewport and keep width. This is basically defining what will happen if the window is of a different size, and we are saying that we want the width of our assets to always be the same. So this means that Godot will introduce black bars whenever it needs to show the window at a different resolution. So this is what we want here for 2D games. If now we go to play or run the project, then we see quite a bit more. Also, the window is quite a bit bigger. And yeah, that's already quite good. But we still need to see, we don't need to see the parts that don't have the map. So to control what we're seeing, I'm going to add a camera node, or a camera 2D node to be exact. Now we see this faint purple outline. This shows us what the camera sees. On the left, we see a new node. It's called the camera node. It doesn't need to be under the tile map, a child of the tile map. So I'll just click on it, drag it above here. So now it's a child of the main node. And I'll go here on the right and choose fix top left for the anchor mode. So now instead of making the center of the camera to be at 0, 0, and instead puts the top left corner of the camera at 0, 0. And now I will actually, the tile map, I'll click on W. So this enables move mode. And I'll drag the tile map downwards a bit. I will now go to the camera again. So we'll see what the camera is seeing. Camera is starting right here. And I'll move it down a little bit more. And now I'll take the camera, and now I'll move the camera. As you can see, we are moving. And now if I need to move the camera a little bit more, I think. Okay. Now, if I go and play or run the project, we see quite a bit more. So that's great. And I think that's enough for an introduction. In the next video, we'll be drawing our player to the screen. But to recap, in this video, we saw our first nodes in Godot, our first scenes. We saw how to set the resolution, and we saw how to interact with nodes using the inspector here on the right. So thank you very much for now, and see you next time.